I don't know about you, but I used to think that blogs were something that these weirdos did. And I just thought that these people were just talking about nonsense and talking about their cat all day. I didn't know what they were doing. And then I discovered this year that there's some pretty serious companies using blogs. And these blogs are just not nonsense. They're putting PowerPoints, they're putting videos, they're putting all the great stuff on there. And what I've learned now is there's bloggers that are so influential, they're more influential than media. And now if you read the financial pages, there's bloggers that are being bought by venture capital firms or bloggers. I wouldn't be surprised if this year a blogger went public. I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine I had lunch with last week in Toronto. He's in the same office building as we are. And he was just paid $1 million by Dodge. Okay, one of the brands, and one of the brands for Dodge gave him $1 million. I said, what did they pay $1 million for? What'd you do for that? And that's $1 million is a lot of money. He said, well, we found 200 bloggers, 200 bloggers, women, that were very active. So they found 200 women, and they were the Dodge was trying to go after kind of the mummy crowd. And they found, this company called Matchstick, found 200 of these moms that were very influential. So these moms had hundreds or thousands of people going to their blog. And what Matchstick did is they went to these 200 blogger moms, and they said, look, we're going to give you a car for a week and let you test drive it. And if you like it, you talk about it. If you don't like it, talk about it. Well, when after the week test, these 200 bloggers started talking about the car, they started counting the impressions in terms of how many people read the reviews, etc. To them, it was more impactful than the Motor Trend ads they were running. So what they found in this little thing with 200 women blogs talking about their experience in this car was bigger than their Motor Trend advertising. Now, you think that Dodge, Motor Trend would have a pretty good relationship, and they're renewing their contract, and they're saying that they got more sales from this blogging episode than they did from their Motor Trend. That's powerful, and that's where it's going. So my question to you is, there's somebody right now that's blogging about you or your industry. You need to figure out who they are, make them your best friend. And I don't care if you have to take them on a trip, you got to take them golfing, whatever you need to do, the bloggers need to be your best friends. This is really, really important. And again, it doesn't matter if they don't have thousands of members. They might have 100, but those could be your potential buyers. They could be the best list you've got. So blogs are serious. And if you, again, we all have very limited time, but if you had time, I'd suggest it might be time for your company to have a blog. One thing that I've learned is success leaves clues, and we're selling to human beings. And when you sell to human beings, if you can understand the human motivations, you're really far ahead. Let me give you a couple rules. As human beings, we do things for one of two reasons, either for pain or pleasure. Okay? So if you really boil it down to everything we do, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, you're making your instinctive decisions based on pain and pleasure. So if I don't go to work today, I don't get paid, and then I lose my house, or I lose my car, lose my wife, lose my girlfriend, whatever. It's pain and pleasure. So I don't really want to go to work today, but I go because I have to, okay, because it's pain and pleasure. So we do far more to avoid pain than we will do for pleasure, okay? So the reason I'm going to work today is because I'm thinking about all the pain that can happen if I don't go to work today, okay? Now let's talk about pleasure. Now I know that if I diet and exercise every day, I'm going to look great, right? But I'm not as motivated to eat really well and exercise every day as I should be, because that's gaining pleasure. My point is, we do far more, okay, to avoid pain than we do for pleasure. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Some of these rules we're going to talk about are really important when we do marketing. Some of the things about creating urgency. We've all received those direct mail offers, let's say it's from Bell Canada. If you want our 3-for-1 service, you've got to act by January 15th, okay? If they didn't put January 15th, you'd never act on that. Okay, now Bell Canada has been here for 100 years, I'll be here forever, and they probably had the same offer, but unless you take that offer by the 15th, that call to action, you wouldn't respond. And it started from school. Like, you do your homework because you had the test, and we crammed the night before. We are conditioned not to do anything until you have to. We don't want to make decisions until people force us to. So we have to create the urgency. And this is, whether we call it advertising, call it marketing, or selling, it's all the same thing. So what I want to share with you are 10 different principles that I found that are specific to real estate, mostly residential, I think you can apply it to commercial. I think you can apply it to investor relations. I think you can apply it to everything, but they're really, really important. If I'm in a bad market, people complain about, well, it's a bad market. If I'm in a good market, they complain about good market. I mean, people always have excuses, okay? So whether it's good or bad, they're going to complain about it. So what I'd like to do is share with you just some science that it doesn't matter if it's good market or bad market. It doesn't really matter. So part of it is understanding the human psyche. And I'm going to make some recommendations. Has anyone ever heard anything, read a book, or been to a seminar, or listened to Tony Robbins? Yeah. Okay. I highly recommend it because this guy understands communication and understands human beings. Anyone ever read anything or hear anything or see on Brian Tracy? Okay. Psychology of Selling. This guy gets it. So it's not real estate specific. It's not specific to what you do every day. But if you don't have the fundamentals of the Brian Tracy or the Tony Robbins stuff, you're at a disservice to yourself and your team. And a lot of people complain about their sales teams or complain about different people. If you don't give people the tools, they can't possibly improve. So I know that's considered personal development, but if we're all in the business of selling and getting results, we're not going to hit our goals unless everyone, ourselves and our team, has the information we need. So I strongly recommend, again, we don't have time to do it today, but I'd strongly recommend in terms of understanding how human beings think and act. Anything by Brian Tracy is good. Anything by Tony Robbins is good. It really gives you a foundation. There's a million other guys. I just like them because they're succinct. It's quick. You can listen to it in your car.